Yes, good evening, everyone. Today is Saturday, and we are lucky to be here again to briefly talk about the political happenings that we've seen throughout the week. We've seen so many political. Uh, we've seen so many political issues throughout the whole week, and we are here to just have a look at it. And to our viewers, maybe if any one of you would want to join, you can just request for a link so that you may also be invited. You give your opinion. So first, I want to take this opportunity to give the Mr. Elon to say hi to our viewers, and to our viewers, you are highly welcomed. You can engage us via your writing comments, or if you have question or any comment, just type. We will see and we will answer your questions. Thank you. Mr. Miguda, say hi to our viewers.
Hi to our viewers, and also today being Saturday and we are discussing politics. Of course, it has reminded me of Jesus Christ the Nazarene. Jesus Christ the Nazarene was also a politician because he used to identify himself with the lowly in the society, like he used to minister in Galilee most of his time. And some of his disciples were fishermen, and he used some proverbs like "You are the salt of the world." Even Jesus Christ used to identify himself with the lowly people in the society. That's how he used to identify. So he is a good politician of of our days because just he's still around. He did not die. He resurrected. So I think discussing politics on Sabbath day is very interesting because one of us, Jesus Christ the Nazarene, was also a politician.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for sharing with us the story of Christ, uh, especially being that today is a Sabbath to our brothers and sisters who are SDAs. Yeah. So on today's discussion, we've seen so many things throughout this week. On Thursday, we had what was called the mother of demonstrations by the young people, the Gen Zs. Uh, that really trended. We will speak about it slightly, and then we've also seen political uh, leaders going through the country, led by the president. He's been crisscrossing some parts of Mount Kenya with these newly uh, nominated cabinet secretaries. I was also forgetting we also saw that the cabinets were also sworn in this week. So among other issues that we'd also talk about is Raila's comments. Uh, Raila's comments on how the police handled the protesters, and also his Hey bid. We saw that the foreign affairs, former foreign affairs of Somalia, who was also in the race, dropped down and she was in the country. She said that she'd be supporting the former premier for that position. We'll also talk about the Gen Zs. They are threatening that they might have another demos. So we'll look into the whole political issues. So first, Mr. Meguda, today we saw the deputy president. I mean the president, the deputy president, the cabinet secretary, and some members of parliament in Kirinyaga. It has really, really trended. We've seen people giving different opinions. Some people are saying that the president has gone back to the campaign mode, that he's gone back to promising the people of Kenya uh, so many things that people still believe he can't deliver. We saw him speak. We also saw the deputy president there. gave his remarks, he talked about so many issues. The issue of impeachment that has been trending. He also blasted some members of parliament from the Mount Kenya region. Mr. Miguda, before we talk about it, I wanted to play this. I wanted to play a clip here, so that after the clip, we'll start the conversation. Just a minute, I'm trying to find it.
Lakini wacha nianze na deputy president wetu aje hapa awasalimie. Haya, Kagumo mjambo, andu akagumo muriega ringi, Ngai nĩ mwega na hĩndĩ ciothe. Ngeithia iciarĩra Mwathani agocwo. Andũ aitũ mũrĩ o kuo, no mwĩyũmĩrĩirie, ona heho yaingĩha, ona niĩ ndĩyũmĩtie wa kahĩti wa kairĩtu. Nĩ mwakena nĩ mũtongoria gũka, tũgĩũka ũhoro wa barabara. Rais wetu, tunataka tukwambie karibu sana. Unajua kila boma iko na mzee wake. Mzee wa hii boma ya Mount Kenya ni nani? Mzee wa hii boma ni nani? Nikikaribisha kiongozi wetu kama mzee wa boma, iko makosa? Tunasema rais, karibu. Wewe ni kiongozi wetu, na ulikuwa hapa Kagumo ukaongea na hao wangwana na watu ya Kirinyaga, ukawaambia wakupatie nafasi ya uongozi, wakakubali na wakakuombea, ukapita ukakuwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Sasa umerudi hapa kwa mambo ya maendeleo, na umekuja kurudisha mkono, na umefanya vile inatakikana, na sisi tumekukaribisha. Umekuwa hapa Kirinyaga the whole day, mambo ya stima, mambo ya industrial park, mambo ya barabara, mambo ya maji. Rais, tunasema karibu. Sisi ni watu ambaye tunapenda maendeleo, na sisi tunatii na kuheshimu viongozi wetu, na sisi tumesimama na wewe kwa sababu sisi ndio tulikuchagua. Unajua, nimeona watu wengine wanajaribu kuleta debate. Ati watu ya Mount Kenya hatuwezi toka serikali. Iko haja ya debate kama hiyo? Si ni serikali yetu? Si ni yetu? Tuliamuka mapema, hatu kuamuka. Siku mumeamuka kuchagua Rais William Ruto, muliona jina yangu hapo? Muliniona na picha? Mukapigia mimi? Kama mimi sijazungumza kutoka area hii, nani mwingine huyo anazungumza? Mimi nasema sisi, hii serikali ni yetu. The president and I have a 5-year contract with the people of Kenya. Na wakati ukifika tutarudi hapa tena, ndio mtupatie renewal of that contract. As for now, this is our government, we are part and parcel. Na kama mimi sijalalamika, nani mwingine analalamika? Si kama iko maneno nitasema? Kuna maneno nimesema? Nauliza wabunge, kila mtu afanye kazi yake. Kila mtu afanye kazi ya? Kazi ya presidency ni ya mimi na rais huyu, na sisi ndio wenye kusema, na kama hatujasema wengine wakimie. Kati guo mimi niseme namna hii. Your Excellency, siku wewe wanachaguliwa kama rais wa Kenya, uliponipatia kazi ya running mate, nilikuja nikaongea nao watu na nikawaambia mimi nakuamini, na mimi nikaambia nitachunga maslahi yao, na mimi ninawaambia mambo yao iko sawa. Hata siku umesema unaleta wengine, ukaniambia nikasema wakuje. Hatujalalamika, hatujaona nafasi ya any reason ya kulalamika. So watu wakae kwa WhatsApp group waongee mambo yao. Ukija kwa raia, toa maneno ya kupeana matumaini. Wewe kama umechaguliwa, kuja useme umefanya kazi gani, na ile kazi umepanga kufanya ni gani. Hapana leta siasa ya kukoroga wananchi na kuleta confusion katika region hii. Sisi katika region hii tuko nyuma ya huyu Rais William Ruto. Negu wakati huo Niguo kati guo. Na mimi nikiwa naibu wa rais tunafanya kazi vizuri na rais. Na kama iko maneno si nitakuja niseme. Si nimekuwa kwa radio juzi nikasema tuko sawa. So we want to ask our leaders, please concentrate on the job you have been elected to do. Let the president and the deputy president play their league ambaye inastahili. Niguo ito. Torogamire hau. Torogamire hau. Hau ni homuri. Tanyonia ina guoko na guoko na guoko. Na juge atiriri. Reke itwenda ni andu aitu. Neguo. Reke itwenda tondu urumwe witu niguo hinya witu. Nigetha ithuothe tunyitane tutaithie muthuri uriku. Ithe tithu twamuthurire. Kwiyendera ka kuringiririo. Na gukenera thina. Wethe na muonete. Koguo tutikwenda mehe. Neguo. Andu akagumo.
Thank you so much. I believe you've listened to the clip. Mr. Barak, welcome to the channel. You've just arrived at the right time. We had just done an introduction, and then we were playing this clip. I want to first give you, Mr. Barak, a chance to say hi to the viewers before we start discussing this clip.
Hello and good evening, our viewers and my colleagues. It's nice to be here, and I'm looking forward to having a very interactive engagement, and so happy to be here. Thank you.
Karibu sana. I hope you've listened to the clip. The deputy, we are trying to focus mainly on the comments of the DP. The other day, not so long ago, he had an interview with the TV stations and radios, and he was very particular. He said that some members of parliament from Mount Kenya are trying to go against his directives, and that the issue of impeachment was something that was also being planned, and he said that he's aware of that. And he's also talked about in this clip the issue of shares, which the people of Kenya are not very happy with that that comment of the DP. He's also talked about the MPs who are having different opinion when it comes to the issues that they always have as leaders. So my question to you first, Mr. Meguda, you've listened to the clip. From where you sit, can you kindly tell us what you understand by the relationship of the deputy president and the president? It's been on the media, it's been everywhere that the DP has been having a different opinion with the president. We've seen that several times, to an extent that the president comes, gives his speech, and then he follows, gives another speech. Mr. Barak, maybe your take.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I listened to the video. I think I joined when the video was already halfway, but I listened to what the partial speech of the deputy president, and the deputy president is fighting. I think with his members of parliament from his backyard. And you remember, even this issue of impeachment originated from an MP from the Mount Kenya region. And this debate between the deputy president and the members of parliament from the Mount Kenya region, I think it's just a supremacy battle where the DP is trying so much to stamp his authority as the kingpin of the Mount Kenya region. And I remember this politics of kingpin tribal chiefs and people claiming to be kingpins of certain regions, is what the former deputy president, now the president, William Ruto, fought so hard to demystify, to free regions from these issues of kingpins. But Kenya, being the society that we are, we believe that a specific regions must have their kingpin, so that that kingpin will be able to defend their interest, or will be able to represent the interest of their region. And this issue has not been very has not helped this country so much. And and that's why you see some regions having more than one or two people trying to pretend that they are kingpins. And this politics of patronage, I don't think is serving the interest of Kenyans. It is something that is working against us as a society. And I think the earlier we deal with it, the better. But the deputy president, I think he's trying to strategize himself so that come 2027, he will be the only one to be sought if you want to access the votes from the Mount Kenya region. And that is why he's trying so much to clamp down on those members of parliament that he believes are not advocating or are not advancing his personal interest. And you've seen those members of parliament complaining from Mathira to Nyeri town to even here in Kikuyu. So you find that he has divided the Mount Kenya region into two. Those members of parliament are for him, and those members of parliament that are not for him. And this war of supremacy is not going to end anytime soon, until 2027, when some of these members of parliament will be voted out. That is when he will be able now to cement his authority, because I believe he will try to interfere with the 2027 election to ensure that those members of parliament who will be elected will be those who swear allegiance to him. And those who are against him, that is, if he will still be influential in 2027, he will ensure that they are not voted in. So it's just a war that has started and is going to intensify as we approach 2027 election. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barak. Maybe Miguda, your take on that clip that you've seen. Mr. Kiplimo, you are welcomed. Thank you for coming, Senator Kiplimo. We'll give you a chance. Miguda, you can give us your take.
Today, I tend to agree with the critics of Deputy President Rigiji. Those critics who are profiling him as a tribal leader. I believe those critics are correct because from whatever I've listened to, indeed he is a tribal leader. Why am I saying he's a tribal leader? First, he was given opportunity to talk to Kenyans. In Kirinyaga, they are not only Kikuyus. Kenyans live every part of this country. And in our constitution, we have two languages. Kiswahili is the national language of Kenya, then English is the official language. As the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, when you're addressing the gathering, you're addressing the rally, you ought to have speak in English or Kiswahili. Maybe you can use greetings with your local dialect, but you can't spend almost half of your speech speaking your local language because you're assuming that the people living in Kirinyaga are a tribal leader. And number two, he wanted to stamp authority that he is the Mount Kenya kingpin. Because if you listen keenly in that clip, he said that kuna mzee wa boma. He referred to Ruto as mzee wa boma. Then my question come in. Then mwenye boma ni nani? So it means he's claiming to be the mwenye boma. And he goes ahead and say that we were elected on a joint ticket at ballot. It means he's saying that without him, Ruto could have not been elected in Mount Kenya. It's him who gave Ruto Mount Kenyan votes. So he's claiming himself to be the Mount Kenya kingpin. And he's talking about developments. It's just a PR because there is no development they have gone there. They have just gone there literally to campaign. And he also goes ahead and say that we, in this region, we cannot abuse our leaders. We cannot mistreat our leaders. But it's the same Rigiji who abused their own leader, Uhuru Kenyatta. So because he want to please William Ruto, he's saying that we respect our leaders as the people of this region. Then he's the one who talk about shareholding. Today he's saying that this government belong to all of us as Kenyans, and he goes ahead contradicting himself that our government as Kikuyus. So in short, this guy is egocentric. He loves himself because he's saying that it is him who to consult before bring Raila in. He's trying to separate himself with the MPs, and he's trying to tell Malkia that those MPs are traitors. Before to make any decision, he's consulting me, not those MPs, those his friends. So this guy is egocentric and is trying to bring rift between him and the MPs, and is claiming to the Mount Kenya Kingpin stamping authority using those rallies of William Ruto. I think that is my analysis on what happened in that clip.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kiplimo, you are having a discussion on the comments of the DP. They were with the president today in Murang. The president gave a speech, and from where we are seeing it, the people of Kenya, some people are saying that the president has started the campaign. This is something he used to do before the Gen Z started the revolution. But again, the deputy was also given a chance to speak. He was very clear. He still continued with this phrase of shares that them from the Mount Kenya region voted for the president, and so they have the shares. And again, he also blashed MPs who has been having a different opinion. He also talked about the impeachment, uh, and also from where you sit and with the disagreements that we've been seeing the DP and the president. What is your analysis of the comments of the deputy president today? Kiplimo, you are muted. Yes, you can go ahead.
Good evening.
You can. Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, proceed.
Thank you. Sorry for being late because I had to watch Olympics so that and at least I'm happy Faith Kipyakon won it. And
Okay.
pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have you this evening. Okay, on the issue of deputy president, I've heard my friend Okuda saying the deputy is tribalistic, and obviously Kashagwa is fighting political survival. He has resorted to his tribe because already the dynamics of 2027 is clear. You have seen the president in every rally. He recognizes Kiaru member of parliament in Nyoro. And that is a signal. Waswahili wanasema mbiu ya mkambo ikilia kuna chambo, eh? So that there's already signal, 2027 signals that Kashakwa is not in the matrix of William Ruto. Now that the ODM has ended marriage with the ruling government. So telling Kashagwa you should portray a national figure because he's deputy president for Republic of Kenya is a bit tricky because Kashagwa, you remember Kashagwa before even becoming MP Madira, he failed twice. So he just won on the third time. And that tells you even Kashagwa from his hometown, Nyeri, is unpopular. Now he's now using the office of the deputy president to rejuvenate himself politically and gain more support in his backyard. And with in normal brags with 6 million votes from the Kikuyu community. Abura, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Proceed. We can hear you.
Yeah. You at any given time you will hear Kashagwa saying, "We woke up." Even yesterday, Yesterday he said the president is being back because they woke up early in the morning and voted unanimously for William Ruto. So when you see Kashako speaking different language and the MPs, and if you can remember very well, selection of Kenya Kwanza deputy president, it went through a rigorous process, and it later came out that Kashako was compromised deputy president because of the politics of Mount Kenya West and Mount Kenya East. So Okuda, I think you should bear with the deputy president because that is a gigs of a dying, last gigs of a dying horse. And I
Okay.
beg my friends, I beg my friends from ODM, because Kashakwa is now a very insecure man in government. And last week we were talking about the story of impeachment process, and that it still agitates the deputy president is an insecure man in government, because if that happens, I was telling you it is possible, because the combination of UDA and ODM, unless the court will save the deputy president. So back to you,
Okay.
studio.
Thank you, Miss Senator Kiplimo. Thanks for your comments. The other thing that we've also seen is remember the demonstrations that we saw last on Thursday. It was called as the mother of demonstrations by the Gen Zs, but we didn't see many of them come out for that demonstration. So out of that demonstration, there's so many police brutalities that we saw. Even the journalists were attacked. So many people were arrested, and some were also assaulted. I wanted to ask you, my panelists, what are your take when it comes to the handling of the Kenyan citizens, especially the people who are demonstrating? And again, we saw the former premier. He came out and he said that the police should be responsible, and there is a law on how people should be handled when it comes to demonstration. But again, people really blashed him, saying that he is in the government, he knows everything, and he has the power to tell the president all those, that he has the number of the president. He should call the president and speak to him directly. Mr. Barak, what's your take? Do you really think the former premier was right coming out to tell us, the people of Kenya, that the president should do this, and that the constitution says this, and people assume that he's also in power because his generals were just invited to the government of Kenya Kwanza?
Well, thank you so much, Miguda, for that. I think my opinion is that Kenyans, we are hypocrites because, number one, we say that we have the rights that should be respected, and at the same time, we don't respect the rights of others. We have a right of, we have freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and if somebody exercises that freedom of speech, if we are not in agreement with them, we say that they should not do that because we believe that our rights are big or are more important than theirs. Raila Odinga was just expressing his right as a Kenyan citizen, just the way we are doing here. It is the same way. Him being a leader or being in any relation with Ruto does not take away his right as a Kenyan citizen to express his views according to how he wants, as long as he's not breaking any law in this country. The way we also have our rights that we express, the way we are giving our opinions here, it's the same thing. And we believe that he's in a position where he should have a cup of tea with Ruto and tell him to advise maybe to direct the police not to do one or two things. That aside, but as a Kenyan citizen, he has a right to express his opinion. As far as the demonstration on Thursday is concerned, I believe that the way I was saying before that Thursday, that if you do something without an objective that is clear, it will reach a point that you will miss out, and that thing will start dying what we call a natural death. And if you looked at what happened on Thursday, so many regions stayed away from the demonstration, and you cannot compare what happened on Thursday to whatever happened during the anti-finance bill protest. And that is the danger, because the objective is dying away slowly. And the only thing that is standing out right now is that someone has now come out to be now to be the face now of the demonstration. And right now, if you look, even after people who are being called in the mainstream media to be interviewed, you will find that there are specific individuals who are seen as the face of this demonstration. And it is my prayer that these people will take advantage of that, and they will turn the movement or the protest or the movement into something like a political party, because world over you cannot push your agenda without having some formal registration, without accessing this policy making institution. For example, if this thing can be registered and it is formally recognized in law, and come 2027, you push a good number of your members to go into parliament. There you'll have an avenue where you can push for your policies, you can legislate, and you can even some members can join government, so that whatever you are advocating for can now be formally and legally constituted. So it is something normally starts like this, but with the time it evolves, and I think it is good for this thing now to start evolving and taking some kind of a political movement of pressure group that will eventually get registered, and it will facilitate or enable members to join parliament or even join government, so that whatever they are advocating for in the streets, they can translate that into policies and pieces of legislation, so that we can, at the end of the day, we can have a better society. But if that does not happen, I think it will just be a wasted opportunity for this country. Because if that does not happen, I think it's going to be a very sad thing for the history of this country, that a Kairos moment evolved, but people were afraid to take advantage of it, or people stood away from it instead of taking advantage of that. And that's why people are blaming Raila Odinga, saying that he hijacked the demonstration, and now he's in government. And once there is a crisis, people or leaders will always take advantage of it and advance their interest. It happens all over. And when the Gen Z movement created a crisis, and the people who came up with that, who said that movement, was shied away from taking advantage of the crisis to ensure that they get into policy making table. They refuse, and that's why I was against this issue of saying that we are leaderless, because when people refuse to come to step forward and take up positions of responsibility so that they can be held to account, then that in itself is not a step in the right direction. People must be courageous enough to take up responsibility and say, I bring up myself, I am a leader of this movement, I'm demanding for ABCD. And right now, I can assure you, if that could have happened, right now we could have been having even 2 or 3 people in the cabinet representing this specific movement. Therefore, my take here is, next, if protests are called upon, I can assure you things will be dying slowly by slowly until there will be no one to come out. And even if people come out, they will not be effective, just the way what happened on Thursday. So I believe we still have time for this thing to be registered, and we start what we call grassroots mobilization to ensure that in the come 2027 we will have members in parliament, both National Assembly and Senate, and eventually even in cabinet, so that whatever we are advocating in the streets can translate into policies that can guide us to have a better society. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Barak, before I go to Megoda, you've talked about the issue of hijacking the demonstration. Yeah, the people of Kenya, most of them are saying that Raila hijacked this demonstration and the revolution, and that's why it's finally coming to an end. The people say that immediately he gave his generals to the ruling party because he has followers, and we know as a country that Raila has very serious followers. And this thinking that it is also being said that supporters of Raila, among which his close sycophants, in one way or another threatened that should they see young people, Gen Zs, coming out for demonstration, they will deal with them. There's that allegation. But again, we didn't see the demonstration in the Luo Nyanza region. And it is being said that the people of Luo Nyanza did not come out because, one, their party leader, whom they follow, one Raila Amolo Odinga, because he told them that he's given his generals to the government. Now they believe they should not go to the street because they believe that Raila has given a solution to the government. But again, Raila has followers and members of parliament in the Luo region. Some people are saying that the members of parliament from the Luo region told their constituents not to go for this demonstration. And again, when we were watching for this demonstration, some people from the Luo region are saying that they have been fighting for the republic for quite some time. Now, it was time for them that now that they had been given some CS position, it was time for them to rest and leave the demonstration for the people of the other side. Maybe your comment on that before you go to Miguda. Did
Well,
Raila appointing these guys influenced the demonstrations in one way or another?
that was expected. It's expected that once Raila and Ruto come together, Raila's stronghold or political bedrock, demonstration will die naturally. So it was, you just imagine when Ruto was, no, not Ruto, Joho was nominated to the position of CS, the whole coast was in jubilation and celebration. And when Ruto flew to Mombasa, he was received like a king because of just nominating Joho to the position of the CS of mining. And you remember even Aisha Jumwa, who was dismissed in the previous cabinet, happily declared her support to Joho joining the cabinet, having in mind that she will not be joining the same cabinet, but maybe she will be sorted out with a different position. In Luo Nyanza, it was expected that once Raila and Ruto have some kind of an working arrangement, majority of the demonstration will not come back to the street. And Ruto having given Mbadi the position of treasury and Wandai the position of energy, it is the first time in Kenya where we have someone from Luo Nyanza holding the position of a treasury. So they saw that as an honor to them. Therefore, to reciprocate that, they had now to ensure that there is calm in that specific region. And these are politics. And, you must be smart sometimes in playing politics. And I think in this, Ruto has outsmart those people who are thinking that his government was now very weak and was on his way to maybe to Sigoi. So those and you see what Ruto now is doing. He's now trying now to 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 go to the people, go to the ground, speaking to the people on the ground, and winning back the trust, because there was trust deficit. That was the major problem that this government was having, trust deficit. But now what is doing, it's like he's campaigning again the way he did it before 2022, and it's now he want to win back that trust that had disappeared, that led to the rejection of Finance Bill 2024. Therefore, this working arrangement between Ruto and Raila, it has achieved its political objective. And whether it will last or it will not last, time will tell. But at the moment, it is successful and it has achieved its political objective. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barak. Mr. Meguda, what's your take on Raila's comment? Some people are saying that he's in the government. He should be just making a call to the president so that the president can put in place his request.
I don't want to be personal to Raila too much. Let me just talk about demonstration, because I think Article 37 give this right to everyone, including Raila. He's also a Kenyan. So every person, this right to demonstration are not exclusively for Gen Zs. This right to demonstration is for every Kenyan. I remember even in 2023, the Azimio people were demonstrating. So every Kenya, every person has that right. It is for all of us. Provided you are a Kenyan, you have that right. You can exercise it. So it's not limited to Raila. Anybody can exercise that right. But in the demonstration, there are three parties. There's police, there's protesters, and there are journalists. So each and every person has a role in the demonstration. The role of the police is to maintain law and order. The role of the police is to ensure that the lives are protected, properties are protected. The protesters have that duty just to peacefully assembly and unarmed. And the journalists are to provide live coverage so that people who are not on the street can see what is going on. But in our case, you find that after demonstration, people died. There were deaths were reported. Properties were destroyed. So who has caused these deaths and who has destroyed these properties? In my view, the deaths have been caused by police, because it is the police who has the guns, they have the tear gas, the water cannons, the rubber bullets, the live bullets, and the protesters were just peaceful. And journalists were just armed with their cameras and a microphone. The protesters, they say that those people who destroy properties or who stole properties, they are not peaceful protesters. They are goons, or they are uh, those people who have been hired by politicians. So the politicians who have sponsored these goons or who have hired them, they should be held liable for those properties which has been destroyed or stolen. And properties, even the DCI has also started to find out those properties which were stolen. There was CCTV coverage, and some properties are also insured. So properties can be recovered and properties can be gotten. But lives cannot be gotten. Once a person died, he can't come back to life. And who has caused the death? It is the police who has caused this death. So let us just look at it, not one right. You know, the reason why I don't want people to die on the demonstration or to be killed by police, because we have a right to life. And no one can take that right to life, whether you're a police or whether you are the president. And you can look in our laws right now. There's that abolition of death sentence. If the likes of Ochuka could have been in Kenya with this 20 constitution, they could have not been hanged. So abolition of death sentences, it has been replaced by life imprisonment. Or maybe if you are supposed to be in prison for 20 years, they can add you more, maybe 30 years. So by the time you are dying, you die in prison naturally, but no one takes away that life from you because you have that right to life. In 2016, President Uhuru Kenyatta commuted around 4,000 uh, death sentence prisoners to life imprisonment. And in 2017, our Supreme Court, which is the superior court of the land, pronounced itself that death sentence is unconstitutional. So no one is allowed to take the life of someone. That's why I'm saying, in this scenario, even though we are exercising our rights, but the people who died, the people who are killed, they must get justice. And the police are liable. Those people who shot directly, they are responsible. They're liable. Therefore, let our investigation goes on so that we can conclude this scenario conclusively so that those people who committed crime during demonstration can be apprehended and taken to the right place. They should not walk free because these people are operating, they are using unlawful orders. Remember when the current CS for Interior, Kithure Kindiki, was being invited in Parliament, he said that the people who killed demonstrators did so on their own volition, that there was no order from IG, there was no order from him, there was no order from the commander. So they will be held responsible. So we should not lose life because of demonstration. So Raila, in his capacity as a Kenyan, he has a right also to demonstrate, he has a right to condemn. It depends on how he's playing his politics. But because he's a politician, he must got some critics.
Okay, thank you. On the issue of police, Kiplimo, can you hear me? Maybe your take on Raila's comment when it comes to how the police handled the protesters. What's your take on that before we go to the next discussion?
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Kiplimo, go ahead. Yes, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
you know, on the point that Raila came into on the issue of the demonstration first. You know, Ruto had two enemies. So that is the Gen Z and the opposition, which existed before. So, you know, sometimes it is better to make friendship with one enemy so that you can fight the remaining enemy. And that is why the concept of Raila hijacking the Mandamano came in. Because Ruto managed to win the heart of the other enemy, who is Raila, and the Gensis some felt like Raila betrayed them because since last year or in every election we see many Luo youths dying who are demonstrating that Raila victory has been stolen. And for this case, now you see Raila having another handshake in the name of broad-based government with William Ruto. So I think some subsection of the particularly youth feel Raila have betrayed them because someone who has been always seen as the savior for the less fortunate in the society and for those who suffer in silence and who have been always believing Raila was speaking for them. But it is quite unfortunate. Raila is now having one leg inside the government, another one outside the government, as you saw in the case of Jimmy Wanjigi. When police wanted to arrest Jimmy Wanjigi, we saw also Raila met visit to his former ally to console. That is, Raila basically want to create an image that is still in the opposition, of which it is not true. That is why Kalonzo Musyoka is fighting to be recognized as the official opposition leader. And as my co-host say that James, actually we should have a leader now. The issue of leaderless or fearless as we are, despite Samuel met around. I think next time Samuel should take part in Olympics. He showcased a talent that was unidentified. So
Okay. Yes, Mr. Kiplimo, thank you for that. And you've also you've talked about Wanjigi. On the issue of Wanjigi, we saw what happened with in Wanjigi's home. His home was actually, I think it's right to say that his home was raided by the police, and it was raided on the same day that the demonstrations were going on. It is what is out there is it is being said that he might be one of the financiers of demonstrations of the Gen Zs. Not yet confirmed. We are not so sure about that. We are waiting for the courts to tell us more. On the issue of Wanjigi, we saw so many police officers going to his home, and again there was a search that was done in his home with more than 200 police officers armed to teeth. We saw them get into the house of Wanjigi carrying very serious guns, and they were like pointing them everywhere looking for Wanjigi. My question to you, my panelist, is Wanjigi is just one man. Was it really necessary sending all those number of police officers to his home? And is that what the Constitution says? From my understanding, if someone has issues, of course, with the Republic, or if truly whatever they're saying is there, was that the right way to handle it? Because they went to his home, even his family, his son, his wife, his mother, they were all like assaulted. Is that what really the Constitution says? And was it necessary to send all those police officers to his home? Because the issue of mental health, I mean, the issues of the family, the sons, the mother, seeing all this, was it really necessary? And is that what the Constitution says, that people should be handled in that manner? And we saw Wanjigi gave a statement, of course, with close to him were his lawyers. They're saying that the police came without any warrant, and he's not even been called to go make a statement. We saw the other day the acting AG on a media said that he should surrender. Is that how people should go to police stations? Because from my understanding of what the Constitution says is you have to receive an invitation, of which he says through his lawyers that he's not received. And the police has been going to search his house for more than twice. Maybe your take on that, Mr. Barak.
Well, thank you so much. I think we might say that it was not necessary. I think that is true. The police, I think that was using too much force to attain an object that we are not even sure, it was not even clear. And we didn't even see them really going very far with whatever they wanted. They did not arrest Jimmy Wanjigi. And this, I think, I don't know what there's something that is going on between Jimmy Wanjigi and the government that we are not sure of. Because we remember even during Uhuru Kenyatta, the police raided his home, and they camped at that home. I remember when it's Raila who went there and and tried to intervene, and that's why you see even this time he still went there, because these are billionaire friends. Apart from politics, they have very many business that they are doing together. So once one of them is in trouble, they always come in to stand with each other. And I think sometimes our police have misplaced priorities. You find that they go somewhere with carrying very heavy weapons, but without very clear objective, and they just leave without giving an explanation. But on the other hand, I think it is very clear world over that if there is any individual who poses a threat to the national security, the police, the state has the mandate to use all the machinery at their disposal to ensure that they bring this person to book, and they can even I don't know if you remember how Miguna was was arrested when he swore in Raila in 2018. His door, he refused to open his door, and I think they used a petrol bomb to 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 break into his house, even until they got him out of his bedroom. So the state has the capacity to get hold of any individual that they believe poses a threat to the national security. That is their mandate. But normally that is misused here in Kenya, because you see that like what happened to Jim Wanjigi. I believe those police officers could have been somewhere else serving the Kenyans and serving the interest of this country. But because of the reason that we are not sure of, they went to camp at Jimmy's house, doing so many searches and intimidating his family, and they left that home without even seeing Jimmy Wanjigi. So I think it is just sometimes lack of professionalism in our police that cost us as a nation. But we this constitution tried so much to introduce so many reforms in the police service, even from changing from the Kenya Police Force to the National Police Service. These were just reforms that were intended to ensure that there is a professionalism in the police service, and there is also some kind of a good relationship between the citizenry and the police. But it has achieved very minimum results. But I believe if we continue agitating and demanding for accountability from our police service, we'll achieve more, because I know change is gradual. And as we continue agitating for more reforms, I believe that somehow we'll achieve some good results in future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Miguda, what we saw in this issue of Wanjigi, what's your take? Is it a political witch hunt? Maybe give us your thought on it.
What we saw at Mudaiga 44, I think that is the official resident of Jimmy Wanjigi, but you never know. Being a billionaire might even have 60 residents. So, there are two similar things happen for Jimmy Wanjigi. That is before 2017. Jimmy Wanjigi, I think Jimmy Wanjigi is safer with Raila in opposition than in government. Because when Raila was in opposition, the Jubilee regime that was headed by President Ruto and President Uhuru and Ruto as deputy president, they invaded Jimmy Wanjigi house, they looked for him, and remember Raila went to his house and even he spent a night there. And the court order came out. Now Jimmy Wanjigi was set free and he has never been arrested from that time. He has never been arrested from those times. So when the time Raila joined hands with Ruto, with Uhuru, during the handshake, Jimmy Wanjigi walked out of Raila's camp. So whenever Raila is in government, he's uncomfortable. But he's comfortable when he's with Raila in opposition. During the KK regime, after Ruto was declared a winner by the IBC commissioner, that is returning officer Chebukati, Wanjigi started looking for Raila, and they mend their differences, and they were now buddies. By the time Raila has got into government with Ruto, the so-called broad-based government, they started hunting again Jimmy Wanjigi. So I think there is something wrong to Jimmy Wanjigi when Raila is in government. But when Raila is in opposition, they don't bother about Jimmy Wanjigi, they don't look for him, they don't raid his home. I remember the first time they raided his home, there was a court order. This time round, they issued another court order. That is when Jimmy Wanjigi appeared from where he was hiding in that house. And the similar things the police searched, they found grenade last time. This time round, they also find the grenades. So these are just similar events unfolding. And if you want to say that, maybe I think into to an extent of political scores, according to me, this is just a diversion of they are trying to divert our attention, and they anytime they want to do it, they attack Jimmy Wanjigi because they were saying that Jimmy Wanjigi is financing Gen Zs. Me, the only person I know Jimmy Wanjigi has financed is Raila Odinga. He has financed Raila Odinga's campaign, and it is there on the record. The Gen Zs, I don't think Jimmy Wanjigi has given anybody money. Maybe he has given some people money, but I've not seen. I think if you are supporting people, you ought to give them money. Maybe you give them placards. There were no placards from Jim Wanjigi. Some of us were printing placards with our own cash. There were no t-shirts from Jimmy Wanjigi. My friends from JQuat and my friend from Thika, when they were coming to the CB demonstrate, when I called them, they asked me, Miguda, what type of shirt are we wearing today? I told them it's black one. So they print by their own money. I didn't even send some. Jim Wanjigi has not given any Gen Z iPhone. Jim Wanjigi has not paid for anyone KFC. Jim Wanjigi has not paid for the Uber people are using. So the only finance Jim Wanjigi, the only person Jim Wanjigi has financed is Raila Odinga, not the Gen Zs. So I think these guys are just trying to divert our attention. But I think there's something Jim Wanjigi knows with these people that we do not know. Because whenever Raila is in opposition, he's very comfortable and is ready to work with Raila. If you follow Jim Wanjigi keenly, when Raila is in opposition, he can go as far as to Siaya, Raila's backyard, and he can oppose government of that time in Siaya. But in Central Province, he does not attack that government. He only attack government in Luo Nyanza. He doesn't attack government in Central Province. But whenever Raila has got into government, then Jim Wanjigi is being raided, is becoming uncomfortable. So according to me, I think there's something they know those guys, which we the citizens did not know about this thing of Jim Wanjigi. Because if you had an offense with the Jubilee government, you have to be arrested, you have to be arraigned into court. He could be even be charged with a certain offense. He has not been charged with these offenses. So even there was a court order now. They have stopped searching for Jim Wanjigi. I remember Jim Wanjigi is attacked. It is Baba who usually goes to his residence to chase away those officers. So I think these people know what they are doing, and that is their game. It's beyond me. I can't interpret it further than that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kiplimo, your take on that same matter? Yes, proceed.
Obura, the government is trying to play around with our minds. That selling a narrative that there are people who are financing agencies. And that is not true. What is financing agencies is corruption, the massive corruption in the country. As you have seen, the CSS, in less than 22 months, they have accumulated over 100 million. So what are you telling young Kenyans? There are people they are serious businessmen who have not made that far. So what is unique about being a CS? What kind of business are you doing that you are making such amount of money? But the obvious logic is corruption. The taxes were paid does not respond to the development we see around us. So the government must stop telling us who finances the agency. So they should concentrate on fighting corruption, ensuring equity in public service, because as we speak now, even the police who are killing Kenyans, they're the same police who are employed by these politicians. Actually, they are errand boys in public service. And I want also to inform IPOA to take serious these killings of innocent Kenyans who are demonstrating their constitutional right. So the case of Jimmy Wanjigi, you remember 2017, even the government announced Jimmy Wanjigi instead, if you remember, in one of the newspaper, if you can remember, and they later came to say it was fake. And it is obvious diversionary tactics to delusionize the minds of Kenyans. And I've been engaging with professionals from Rift Valley in particular, and they are still speaking the same language of Wanjigi, Uhuru Kenyatta, and Gachagua has been sponsoring agencies. And that is a fallacy, because you cannot tell me Gachagua came to Rift Valley and finance the counties that engage in the demonstration. It is basically the programs that facing the youth that sponsor the demonstration. And now it is just we are in a halftime break, like in the football. So as you see in other revolutionaries like Sri Lanka, like this. So that was it was a political. He has appointed from the opposition.
Yes, Mr. Kiplimo, your network is not so
And
stable.
be ready to handle
it keeps dropping.
the issues affecting Kenyans, or rather, job, because what is awaiting, he
Mr.
might not like
Kiplimo,
it.
kindly check on your network and come again. You are not clear. You keep on breaking. Check on your network.
Okay, that is. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Proceed.
I think there is a interference from the waiter. So I was saying this: the issue of who sponsored the agencies. Actually, we should not be talking about that. We should be talking about what are the problems facing the youth of this country, and what are the solutions in place. Yeah, because as Obio and I said, if we pass the finance bill, it will spark a revolution in this country. Now that is CS energy, we want to see reforms in the energy industry. Can you hear me, Obura? And let me
Yes,
tell
we can hear
you,
you.
Mikuda, let me tell you, now that so the part of the opposition are in government and they fail to deliver, so we will only be singing one song. Raila and Raila Ruto and all the old politicians in government must go home. I don't know by which means, but it will be a must, yeah? Whether by constitutional means or other means, we must do a cleanup and rebuild a new Kenya. Back to studio.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kiplimo, for your comments. Maybe I want us to also talk about the issue of Babu Owino. And before we talk about Babu Owino, I wanted us to talk about the ODM party. We saw we saw them we saw the NEC had a meeting and they were proposing that the they proposed a post for 3 deputy party leaders, of which one was Simbarati, the current governor of Kisii, Abdul Nasir, the governor of Mombasa, and the senator of Vihiga, Mr. Osotsi, as the deputy party leaders. But again, we saw Excellency, the governor of Homa Bay, being proposed to be the chairperson of the ODM party. Maybe before we get into the Babu issue, we didn't see any proposal that Babu would be given any post. And when we look what the people of Kenya are saying, especially in social media, they're saying that Babu Owino has been left out by the party. According to them, they expected that at least he would be either chairman or maybe deputy party leader of ODM. It is contrary to their thinking. Babu has not been given any post so far. So before we get into Babu's issue, maybe your take, Mr. Barak and Miguda, on the proposals by the neck of ODM that the governor of Kisii to take over, the governor of Mombasa, and the senator of Vihiga to be nominated as deputy party leaders. And is it strategic? Is it that the ODM party still want to take control of the coast through the governor of Mombasa, and also the western part through the governor of, the senator of Vihiga? And some people are also saying that the senator is not very strong enough. When you saw the photos that they took immediately after that, the analysis that the people were giving was that uh, the two governors were too close with the party leader, that's Raila, and then Osotsi was standing besides the governor, and that Osotsi has just been brought in to camouflage in a way the all issue of politics and following. Maybe you take Mr. Barak before we get into Babu's issue.
Sorry, I think my take is that for ODM was trying to balance, bringing back Honorable Godfrey Osotsi was to ensure assure the Western voting bloc that they still have a big stake in ODM, and that vacuum that Oparanya left, even those shoes are too big for Osotsi to fill. And bringing in Arati, the Kisis started complaining that how comes we are not seeing our people being given something by ODM. So they had to elevate Simbarati from being the vice chair to the deputy leader now. Because being a deputy leader, it means that you are just a heartbeat away from being the leader. But now, on the other hand, and also Abdul Samad was just to replace Joho, so that the people, of course, also feel that we are still in ODM. But now, my take is that bringing 3 deputy leaders, number one is to manage succession, because now you have 3 people who automatically will not, in the event that Raila is not there, who becomes now the leader of ODM. So you are trying to create different centers of power so that this succession politics becomes very much complicated. Because if you start asking between Arati, Osotsi, and Abdul Swamad, who should succeed in Raila in case he is no longer the leader of ODM. So you make succession politics in ODM to be much complicated. And now when it goes to the chair, you saw they also introduced a different chair. Like we have now, I don't know if there are 3 or 2 different vice chair of now the national the leader of the chairman of ODM. Yeah, and we see proposing.
Yeah, there are actually 2, because one is from Turkana and one is from Siaya.
Otiende Amolo and the other, and so you see that okay, proposing Gladys to be the chair of the party, I think that is number one, is elevating women leadership in the party, because Gladys has done so much, and I think she earns that position. Even being a woman, she has not just been given on a silver platter. It is because of her contribution and even her role that she's playing, even in Homa Bay, being one of the best governors, best performing governors in Luo Nyanza. So that gives her that credit, that they even thought of bringing her to the national chairperson, and also her relationship with other people, other political leaders. You as the chair of a party, you also need to have a good relationship with other national leaders in case there's any coalition engagement. The chair of a political party plays a critical role in ensuring that the interest of the party is taken good care of. Therefore, I believe that that's a good proposal, but I only have a problem with proposing this too many vice leaders, three deputy leaders, two vice chair. I think it is not necessary. If you want to nurture leaders and ensure that succession is not complicated, you usually make it much easier by having one deputy or one vice. Because in case of a scenario where we don't have the chair, we don't have the leader, so that succession does not become so complicated, and you'll have so many functions trying to fight for the same position, and eventually will kill the party, because this party will disintegrate into so many functions, and every function will just go their separate way in case there is any succession battles. Thank you.
Okay, Miguda, your take on on ODM nominating Simbarati, the governor of Mombasa, and the senator of Busia to take over as the three deputy party leaders. Is it a strategic move for them to maintain their capture of those regions?
First, let me correct you. Osotsi is center for Vihiga, not Busia. ODM has, and I've said this here time without number, that ODM and Raila himself, Raila has successfully managed his succession very well, very strategically, very tactically. I'm a supporter of Babu Owino, and but Raila has outsmarted us in his succession because it is politics. Politics, there is no saint. There's no permanent friend or enemy. In politics, we can be together here, but I'm calculating my cards. You never know. We can be together here, but Babu was with Raila. Babu was calculating his cards. I know we'll talk about Babu later, but let me just try to bring my point from that point. You know, what ODM has done on the Raila, before the issue of AUC chairperson came, Raila was moving across the country, rebranding ODM. He was recruiting new members, and there were elections to be held for ODM, from polling station to the National Election Board. Remember those things, those events have not taken off since Raila was declared his interest to be the AUC chairperson. And Raila, by going to the so-called broad-based government, Raila has reaped more in this mandamano than any other person. Because now he has even made his national team without going for that election process. They have proposed three deputies. They were supposed to go for those national election process. Now they have done it minus those all expenses. So by him being smarter than Babu, Babu is still a junior in politics compared to Raila. Raila saw that Babu was taking away the people. And these people are Raila's people, not Babu's people. So for him to block Babu, he must balance that structure of the NEC, National Executive Committee, and all the slots which were left vacant. He ensured that no one, Babu has not gotten any to those seats. People were supposed to go for elections. I think they were supposed to be next August. this month. But you see, he has already given us his lineup without going for those elections. Simbarati, the Kisii governor, has been moved from national vice chair to the deputy party leader. And Sharif Nasir, Abdul Somad Sharif, has been moved to deputy party leader together with Godfrey Osotsi. Raila has ensured that there will be no one to succeed him as party leader. He used to have two deputies, Oparanya and Joho. Now he has introduced another one slot, so there are now three. He has now made it more difficult than it used to be before. Before, if Joe could have succeeded from Raila, Oparanya could have walked away. But now, if Simbarati succeeds him, or Abdul Somad Sharif, or Osotsi, they will remain two. One will walk away, or he can make sure that they don't walk away, remain with all of them. So Raila has made sure that his support base, even when he's leaving to AUC, he has maintained his support base. He has captured Western, and he has also made sure that it has rotated from Kakamega to Vihiga. Was from Kakamega, Ososis from Vihiga. Simbarati is now being branded as Nyanza Moro, a leader of Nyanza, not a Kisii leader, a leader in Nyanza. And remember, not only Simbarati, but also Gladys Wanga from Homa Bay is the chairperson for ODM. So Nyanza, he has maintained. Western, he has maintained. Also region, he has maintained by bringing Abdul Somad Sharif to the deputy party leader. And he has also tried to reward some of his loyalists, people like Otinda Molo, vice chair, Rosa Buyu, secretary of the political affairs, where Opio Wandai used to be the secretary of the political affairs of ODM. So he has given it to Rosa Buyu so that women can see that they have not been left out because there is a women league in ODM. So Raila has made sure that he has utilized this opportunity in politics to put his house in order and to make sure that ODM can survive for the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, even when he's dead. ODM will still be branded, also ODM will still be alive. So Raila has used this opportunity wisely as an experienced politician to put his house in order and also to reward his friends and his loyalists. So basically, what has happened with the new team into ODM is my point that Raila has successfully managed his succession within the party of ODM.
Okay, thank you for that observation. Babu Owino has been going to the lowland. He's been holding series of meetings over there. Whenever he passes, he gets massive support. And whenever he passes by, people receives him as a king. We didn't see him given any post in ODM. And remember, ODM is seen as a party for the there's this narrative that ODM is a party for the Nyanza people. And we've seen that Babu has been coming out boldly, trying to speak against the government. And the moment the ODM party had an agreement with the Kenya Kwanza government to work together, Babu has been opposing this. He's been having a different opinion. And so some people say that because of his critic to the government, and because he's opposing or having a different opinion, is being seen that he cannot be trusted in ODM. But remember, young people, so many people have been telling Babu to get out of ODM and form a party. So there's this back and forth thing in ODM that we are seeing him having. But again, we've been seeing him in Nyanza region. Maybe Mr. Barak, Babu has been going to lowland for quite some time. Your take, and can you try connect it with this the appointments that we are seeing in ODM? He's not been given any post, and we are seeing him going there like every day, every weekend. Does it mean that he wants to come up with a new party? And if he's coming with it, we are seeing him in the lowland. He wants support from his backyard. Maybe your take on that. Today was in Migori. Yesterday was in. He was also in in Nyalenda. Maybe your take on Babu's political movement, and do you see him surviving if he start having different opinion from the boss, who has been seen as someone who makes or opens political ways for politicians, especially in the Luo Nyanza. Your take on that, Mr. Barak?
Thank you so much, Mark. I think Babu Owino is creating another center of power within the ODM, and I think I usually hold the opinion that he needs to move out of ODM if he's to survive, because sometimes if you want to know how far you can fly, yeah, you have to, or how far you can swim within the waters, you have to jump inside the waters on your own and try to swim and see how deep you can go. Therefore, Babu Owino is a politician who has a very bright future in this country. But I hold opinion that he does not stand having that future inside the ODM, because ODM is a party who has its owners. And the owners of ODM, Babu Owino is not one of them. Babu is not, but the owners of ODM are not comfortable with Babu trying to grow inside ODM. And that's why you see, even when the parliamentary group of ODM met and they decided that they are going to work with the UDA, and Babu Owino opposed. But the rest were just comfortable and they were so happy. You remember Opondo, the Honorable Kaluma, Peter Kaluma of Homa Bay, when he was saying in Parliament that even those, when Sifuna tried to contradict that they have not agreed to work with the UDA, Kaluma sent him a very strong warning that he should remember that even that position of SG, he's holding it on interim basis. So that shows you how clearly that ODM has owners, and these owners decided to work with Ruto, and anybody who was against that had to be sidelined. And I believe Babu is one of those who are not comfortable. And you remember Babu called for a press conference and declared himself as now as the chief opposition leader going forward. So I believe he just have to weigh, for him to weigh his political weight, he has to decamp from ODM and see if he can be re-elected in Embakasi East without ODM. That will be now a ground for him now to grow and even go places. Because I remember, if you remember the history of Raila, when he decamped from Ford Kenya in 1996, he resigned from parliament as a member of Ford Kenya, and he formed his own political party called National Development Party (NDP), and he campaigned on that party, and he came back to parliament using that party, and that is what gave him ground now to grow. And people now started decamping from Ford Kenya to joining NDP, and that is how Raila made himself to be a kingpin, and he has managed to be that for up to now. So I think if history has to repeat itself, then Babu Owino should take some lessons from that, and see if he wants to grow and become a kingpin. Sometimes you have to take bold decisions, and you don't have because this bold decision is what make leaders to be who they are. These big leaders, strong leaders, you make bold decisions and you move forward and see how many people are following you. Or if you make a bold decision, people will run away from you. So if he does not do that and stay on ODM, hoping that one day he will become somebody using an ODM ticket, I am afraid that may not happen, because ODM has a history. My co-panelist has just talked about ODM doing election. I think ODM is the only party that has survived without election since it was formed. They plan elections, and along the way they play with that election, and that thing is just forgotten about. And they continue, and they have people in offices. They just have a way of appointing people, selecting people who are loyal, and they have survived since 2005 up to now without having party grassroots elections. And they have delegates, they have national leaders, they have NEC leaders. They have, I don't know what they call central committee leader. So ODM, that's how people manage their own properties. They say this party belongs to the people, but in the truth is, it does not belong to them. It belongs to certain individuals who make decisions on behalf of the party, and they bulldoze everybody else to follow those decisions. And if you're not comfortable, they come and they do what they call character assassination, and they ensure that even they campaign you and you are voted out. And that is why, if Babu vies again in ODM, I am sure this bad blood that he's creating, those people will decampaign him, and they will brand him as someone who is not a very good person for people to be close to, and you will see what will happen in 2027. So I think the good thing for Babu Owino to do is just he should craft his way out of ODM and start now finding his foot, so that he can now start working on his own and build himself outside ODM, so that he can become a brand of his own and detach himself completely from ODM. And that will only be for his political survival. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Meguda, your take on this, on
Babu
Babu's
Owino.
issue?
Yeah, Babu Owino. That's my guy. I can even talk more about Babu Owino because I believe in him. The first time I saw Babu Owino, I saw a president in him. That guy is a presidential material, whether he's in ODM or outside ODM. Babu Owino is emerging. He's a leader who is emerging. The way my co-panelist Baraka said that he has a bright future in politics. Indeed, that is undeniable. Babu has a bright future. During the time of Sonu, Babu was elected 4 times on different years as the Sonu chairman. He was not only elected by Luos in campus or by the main campus, he was elected by students across the campuses, Kenya Science, Kiromo, Lower Kabete, Upper Kabete, Kikuyu campus, Parklands. So Babu was elected by all people, all races, all tribes. That Babu was not elected by people from, for example, Ugonja. Babu was elected by the Kenyan people. And when Babu Owino moved to national politics, when he went to Nairobi, Babu Owino went to Embakasi East. You know the history of Eastlands. Embakasi East is the farthest Eastlands, where there are majority of people who are lowly regarded in the society. And in Embakasi East, they are all tribes of this country. So Babu Owino is a leader who is emerging, and he has proved a point. Already he has the national network, unlike other leaders. Babu Owino is a strong leader. If he could not be strong, then he could have not been left out. You see, it has forced Raila, who has been in politics for so long, to make sure that he has managed his succession politics, excluding Babu Owino. Why is he excluding Babu Owino? Because he understands that this young man is very strong. Why am I saying strong? Remember in ODM, there was another leader who was emerging, Ababu Namwamba. Ababu Namwamba, unlike Babu Owino, Ababu Namwamba was a weak leader. A weak in the essence that he was more of a diplomat. Babu Owino is the opposite of diplomat. You remember, initially ODM had one Secretary General who was Professor Peter Nyang Nyong'o. And that office, it was full. There were no other offices. But because when Ababu Namwamba have interest to become the SG for ODM, and I want to appreciate the late Otieno Kajwang. He was a very brilliant lawyer. He advised Raila, if we give this office to Ababu Namwamba, this guy will take this party away from us. What did they do to Ababu Namwamba? They make sure that they divide that office of the Secretary General. They divide it, they bring other other offices. For example, they brought the office of the Director of Elections to Junet Mohammed, office of the Director of Communication, Philip Petali, office of the Political Affairs, Opio Wandai. Then Ababu Namwamba became a Secretary General without portfolio. That was just a shell office. Even what Sifuna is having now is a shell. It doesn't control communications, doesn't control the elections, doesn't control even the politics of the party. That is why the previous information by Sifuna, you could not get him rightly because it was subdivided because Babu Nambamba was rising. So Babu Owino, they have gone ahead blocking him. He's not even closer to the table. He's outside the house and they have closed the door. So Babu Owino, why is it that Babu Owino is strong and is a professor of politics of our time? Babu Owino, unlike these other leaders in ODM, is the only leader who has confronted Raila Odinga and declared that I'm in the opposition and I'm with the people, unlike you people. He's the only leader who has made inroads in Luo Nyanza without the blessings of Raila. He has been making inroads in Kisumu Nyalenda, Homa Bay, Rongo, Awendo. He has been going to those villages alone without Raila's company, unlike other leaders. He was in Migori, but he's not going to those cities or towns. He was in Migori, but sorry, he's going to those farthest ends. He's looking for those people who are less regarded. He wants to identify himself with the lowly in the society. So he's branding himself, and unlike other leaders, Babu Owino has made inroads into Central Province. He has gone to Manyata constituency to donate some funds for the school. The MP for Mukuruheni was his classmate at Parklands. He has been going to Kamba. In Nairobi, he has made allies who are not ODM MPs. The Sare member of parliament is a Babu ally. The Kasarani member of parliament, that is Babu ally. So you see, this is a leader who has gone beyond ODM and he has made his allies. Remember, Raila is also seeing his moves. He's watching him very keenly. And Babu is also watching Raila very keenly. So in politics, I've told you, there is no saint in politics. There is no saint in politics. Politics, you have to play it. You have to be an animal to play this thing. Today we are friends, tomorrow we are enemies. And there is no ambition which is special than the other person. Babu is ambitious, which is good in politics. Because if you're not ambitious, there's no business you're doing in politics. Being ambitious is not wrong in politics. Trying to overtake Raila is not wrong in politics. Because if you don't want to try to overtake Raila, then why are you in politics? So Babu Owino, I concur with my friend Barack that it's high time, but I can't understand him because he's also having some advisors. Let him he wanted to break that table for the because he said that if I can't be on that table, I will break that table. Let him not touch that table. Let him not break that table. Let Babu Owino go and buy and purchase his own table, then invite his guests on that table. It's just like a church. For instance, someone has been a bishop in that church for 30 years. The wife has been the pastor and he has managed his succession. Then you are just a church member who came recently, maybe 2 years ago. Then you want to take the people. You can't take the people. So the competition here is Raila does not want to lose his people. But Babu is purporting that he's popular with the Raila people. They are saying that, Babu, you can't do an opinion poll in Raila's party. This ODM belongs to Raila. But you are doing an opinion poll that you're the most popular leader in ODM after Baba. Who gave that authority? He's being questioned. So Babu Owino should just get out of ODM, should have his own table with his own guests. Then people like us, or people like me, I will join him. He will claim to have some people because here they are struggling for people. They want people. Raila is claiming that these people are not Babu's people. Babu's popularity is based on me. It is me who has made Babu to be popular. I've made him MP for Embakasi two terms. And Babu is also seeing our potential. That's why sometimes I'm saying Babu is a strong leader. From my own analysis, Babu has left ODM. That's why he has been moving across the country as a lone ranger. He has been moving alone. He's looking for allies. And And I will advise Babu, let him not fear losing elections. You can lose election today, but tomorrow you might emerge as a strong leader. Remember William Ruto lost a referendum in 2010, but he ended up becoming a deputy president for Uhuru Kenyatta because he had a bargaining power. Babu should not fear because Raila is not going to spare him. He can take this to the bank. Even him, let him not spare Raila. This is politics. Let them play. So I wish him very well. And I know Babu Owino is not like a Babu Namwamba who they manage to control. They will not control Babu Owino.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, my panelist, for your contributions. Maybe in the world of sports, I don't know whether you are conversant with the whatever is going on in the whole. I mean, this Olympic thing. I wanted to let you know. I know I'm not so sure. Let me not judge that as a country we've seen that we have very good athletes. We saw Wanyonyi has won as a gold in 800-meter race. We also saw Faith. Faith also won a gold, and she has actually made an history being the first athlete to win three. I mean, in 3 row. Is in 3 row. She has won gold for in the race of 1500 meters. We also saw Chebet. Chebet also won as a gold, and something that we should also not forget. The goat himself today surrendered. He was unable to finish the race, and he has accepted that. Maybe it's time for him to go do some other things. I don't know whether you are very much conversant with the I mean, with the sports, especially athletics. Maybe your take on that, Barak, your
Thank you
opinion.
so much, Big Mark. I
Mm,
think you said very well. You should not judge because okay. First of all,
I do want to judge.
yeah, Chebet has not. You said Chebet won a gold. I think Chebet did not just win a gold. She won 2 gold from 5,000
Oh,
meters and
nice,
also
nice.
from 10,000 meters. So
Oh, nice.
she made us proud as a country. In fact, we were doing
That's
very
good.
bad until she got us 2 gold. First of all, I just want to say that Kipchoge, it was not his day today, and it's unfortunate that many people made a mockery of him, forgetting that he has done this country so proud. In fact, he won gold in the last Olympics. It was in Tokyo, and also I think in Rio de Janeiro in 2016. So this could have been his third gold in a row, but unfortunately, his time was up. And I think we have to congratulate him for the time that he has held the flag of this country so high. And even now that he has called it a day, I think we wish him well. He said he want to be a motivational speaker. I believe he knows that there are so many people who need to be motivated in this country, if not in this world. And I think today, Faith has not just won a gold medal; she has broken the record, and now she's the one now who holds the new Olympic record in 1500 meters. And also, I think Wanyonyi missed the record with few seconds. I think he also could have broken the. Then remember, the one who holds the record is David Rudisha, so still a Kenyan. So Wanyonyi could have broken that record, but unfortunately he did not. But he won the gold. So I think today was a good day for us. And I think the new I saw the new CS for sports, Kipchumba already is already in
Faith,
Paris. He
you've not
he was
told us about Faith.
pardon.
You've not shared with us about Faith. Faith also won gold. There's a
I said
difference
she
between this Faith and Met.
Faith Kipyegon. This one was saying she broke the record. She broke the record, the Olympic record,
Oh,
in 1500
okay.
meters, and now she's the one who
Nice.
now holds the record for 1500 meters. And I was saying I saw the new CS for sports already in Paris. I don't know. He was sworn in and flew direct to Paris to celebrate with the team. So I believe going forward we are going to see Team Kenya doing very well, because this country is sports is like is the biggest ambassador of a country.
Yeah.
So we want to see, if you see the battle between China and the USA is so huge in Olympics, because they understand the power of sports when it comes now to marketing the country. So I believe because we are leading in Africa, so Kenya becomes the headquarter of Africa, because once we
Nice.
lead in Africa, the world is watching us. So I hope that Kipchumba is going to do us a good job by ensuring that even in football and other sports, we perform well, so that we can be we can attract the world to us, because that is what sports does. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I think I should also thank myself that I didn't judge, because you've given us a clear visual, I mean, a clear explanation of what really transpired. Uh, Miguda, I'm not going to judge you again, but I know maybe if we ask you issues to do with football, you'll be in a position to answer. But for the case, let me just give you time. Can kindly share with us what you know about athletics and what happened in the ongoing Olympics.
I believe that my co-panelist Barakas perfectly analyzed what has gone on. And just to add on what he has said is that we as Kenyan, we are known that we are good athletes and we are the giant of Africa. But this time, at least, I don't think we have done much better the way we used to do our athletes. And I think that we should do a lot of maybe research and find out what has gone wrong, and also to recruit new athletes. Maybe we can donate to them our own Kasmil Makoure so that they can make sure they go with him next time they are going to those Olympics. And of late I've been busy and we have been close to you. I have not been following Olympics. I've been doing other things, and also, but today I tried to at least watch. My team was playing today. We were competing for a community shield. That is Man U and Man City, but at least we have lost at penalty level. It's very unfortunate that we have lost, but it has been back-to-back match. But the first one we won, this one Man City has won, and we are derby. It was a derby. So issue with athletes, I think the current CS for athletes should ensure that bring in new reforms and also be creative. Because I also saw people trying to comment on the way he traveled to those sites, and also the kinds of bags he was carrying. So that could be my brief comment. Yeah.
Okay, Barak, maybe I've seen you're very much knowledgeable in this field. The issue of doping is becoming an issue, and we've seen as a country sometimes we do lose very good athletes because of this issue of doping. Sometimes we hear that I don't know whether the coaches or who, they tend to use some tablets which are not really required. That makes them actually lose their visual. I mean, the whole dream in athletics. And again, maybe your take on your comment on. We've seen some Kenyans. Uh, we saw there's a lady actually who won a gold for a country, I think in the Asian. I'm not so sure which country. I've forgotten. I know you are aware of that. We've seen our own athletes. Some of them are leaving the country. They're actually going to other countries and being given citizenship, and then they run for these countries and they're being paid very well. What's the problem? Does it mean that we don't really give a good platform or place for people with these kind of dreams to maybe get to know how far they can go?
Well, thank you so much. I think before I respond to your question, let me just say that I'm also a Man United fan, and I'm surprised that even my company is also a Man United fan. So we are also suffering in silence that we lost.
I'm also Man United fan.
Oh, that's very
So
interesting. So back to your question, I think the issue of doping, I believe, so some coaches and some promoters, they usually look for athletes. Most athletes who are not well informed, who are still ignorant, but they have a very big potential, and they try to because they are so they want to reap heavily from these athletes, and that is why they introduce some tablets to, or even uh, something that they used in then when they are tested for doping, when the result becomes positive. It's just because of this. I think it's just the, the coaches and promoters. In athletics is individual sports, where you find your coach is just your individual coach. He finds promoters for you. They call you for races, and now because he wants you to win and win, because the more you win, the more they earn. The more you win, the more they earn. So they end up now destroying the careers of athletes because of their own selfish interest. And I think the lady you are talking about is that lady who won a gold for Bahrain, and
yes,
she comes from I think Ukambani. If I don't know if it's Makueni or somewhere. She was born in she's a Kenya. She was Kenya. She was born in Kenya. She from Ukambani, and I believe when she wanted to run for Kenya, Kenya athletics is managed majorly by the Kalenjin. Let me just say the Kalenjin community, because they are the majority who run. So you find that if you want to run and you are not from that particular community, there's a way that they don't see you as a potential athlete, and that ends up locking out many athletes who have potential. And I believe you even remember the struggle that Romanya had before he was included in the national team. So if you are coming from because we believe that athletics, for you to be an athlete, you must come from a specific region. And once you don't come from that region, many hurdles are put on your way to join the national team. And that's why you find that we lose these young athletes, and they go out there because Bahrain is a country with a lot of oil. So they have money to pay this international, especially people from global south, people from poor countries. And you find that even Qatar, even other countries in Europe, even the US, you find that people who are running for them, people who are participating in those athletics, are not native, they are not born there, but because they have money and they don't have talent, they buy that talent from countries that do not appreciate their talent. Even if you remember this country, how do we treat our sports people and our sportsmen and women? How do we appreciate them? You saw the other when that guy from Botswana won a gold medal. The president of Botswana gave his people a
a
half day
holiday.
off to go and celebrate.
Yeah,
And I believe when that guy goes back home, he will be appreciated very well, to an extent that he will not even think of going to run for Qatar. But in Kenya, it's like look at how people are treating Kipchoge right now. It's like he meant nothing to this country, because because today he was not able to finish the race and maybe bring gold back home. So, and because we don't appreciate our athletes, we don't appreciate our sports people. That's why they are considering to relocate outside. I don't know if you've read the story of Denis Oliech, when Qatar wanted to buy him in 2002, and he refused because he believed he was a patriot. But right now, the
yeah.
guy is languishing in abject poverty because of how the country has treated him after that. And I believe if he could have gone to Qatar, his life and his family could have been living a different life right now. So I think it's just our government should be very serious with how they treat the people who represent the country in these races or even in any other sport. And another thing is that the reason why, okay, what they try to do here is that if you're an athlete and you have a potential, they recruit you into police or any other force, so that they tie you down. You don't go back. You don't go and start running for other countries. That's why you see many athletes are either in one police force, one police service, or another, because they use that to tie you down so that you don't go outside the country. But we have lost many athletes because of how we treat them. We don't appreciate them, and that is why they leave us and go and run for where they are well appreciated.
Okay, thank you so much on that. I think the issue of sport has really, I've seen some excitement in it. Maybe we should soon start sport analysis, because I can see Arsenal fans, they're really defending themselves and saying that they're the ones that we should watch. Uh, Before we end, I wanted us to have a small what? I wanted to hear your opinion on what is going on in United States of America. I think we should find time and invite Brother Benson, because this is very much familiar with the politics of US. Uh, Biden, the president of America, was running, and the people persuaded him to drop that bid because of the people were seeing him as someone having some health issues that he might not really have enough time to perform his role as a president. So he stepped down, and then no, I mean, agreed to support her, the deputy, her, what's her name, Kamala Harris. So before this, Trump was far ahead, and there was people were saying that Trump was automatically going to be the president until Biden dropped. Maybe your take on what is going on in US politics. Uh, Let me start with Migoda.
Before I go to US politics, let me respond to our fan 001, Judith. Judith has called us failures, but I'm very happy because Judith is an Arsenal fan. What makes me happy? Most of my friends, most of those people who trust me are Arsenal fans. So it's good to have that divergent opinion. So I'm very happy that we are not in the same football team. It could be very unfortunate for all of us to support Man U. At least we have gotten a new friend who is supporting Arsenal. Uh, US politics, according to me, I used to have some interest in US politics sometimes back, and I've done a lot of research about US politics, and I've also read a lot of books by Barack Obama, The Promised Land, just to mention but some few. I've also read a lot of quotes by Abraham Lincoln. Just to give you a brief, what's happening, according to my own views, that there's this tendency of Barack Obama. Obama believes he is a Democrat, and sometimes, if you read these books very well, several quotes are borrowed from Abraham Lincoln. He wanted to put America where Abraham Lincoln wanted America to be. Lincoln was assassinated before his term ended. So I think there were some visions which Lincoln did not achieve, which Obama wanted to achieve. And Obama, if you go further, Obama will tell you that he accepts election when Trump won against Hillary Clinton. But what makes him bitter, when he was leaving White House, boarding Air Force One, what was ringing in his mind was that the person who was opposed to their policies has taken over, has succeeded him. He wanted the person to succeed him was the one who subscribed to the policies of Democrats, ideologies of Democrats, and philosophy of Democrats. So Obama went out of the Washington, D.C. to Chicago, but he was coming to revenge against Trump. And he perfectly done it when Trump was competing against Biden. So if you go further to his thoughts in his books, Obama said that We will do everything to make sure that our policies or our visions, our ideologies as Democrats are achieved while I'm still in this land, the so-called promised land of America. So Obama saw it that when Trump came to power, he tried to change some of the policies for Democrats. So Obama wanted to leave a legacy that at least by the time he was in the promised land, all the Democrats, according to the vision of Abraham Lincoln, were achieved during his tenure. So Obama saw it wise that because Biden, not only that the people told Biden to step down, it was even the doctor advised him that according to the health. And also during the elections, there were some things which were created by his opponent, the issue like the assassination of the Trump. So those things can be blackmail for your opponent. You can use them for a blackmail to your opponent that he is the president, I'm the opponent, I was almost being killed. So if I'm not safe, what about Americans? So Obama's tried to substitute Biden to Kamala just to try to change the game because the game was so tough for the Democrats. I remember before they brought in Kamala, before the substitute, there were rumors that the only Democrat candidate who can beat Trump is Michelle Obama. So they were trying to divert the attention of the Republican that Obama want to bring his wife to the ballot. But what happened? I think Obama substitute Biden from my thoughts that and he brought in Kamala Harris. Number one, Kamala is a female, so he has given Trump another female candidate, and also Kamala is they try to say that he's somehow black. I don't know about her history so well, but that's my view that they just want to achieve what Barack Obama wanted to achieve while he was the president. He want that Democrat policies to go on.
Okay, thank you for that brief history. Mr. Barak, share with us what do you know about the politics of the United States of America? They're soon going for election.
Well, I think Biden withdrawing from the race, it meant one thing, that in America, political parties belong to the people, does not belong to individuals. I believe right in this country, no members of any party cannot tell their leader not to vie because parties here belong to individuals. They don't belong to people, to the people. That's why you see that, people are doubting the capability of Trump, not Trump, Biden, to defend his seat against Trump until when they went for the debate. And when the Trump outsmarts Biden and dismantled him publicly in the debate, members of Democrats said, no, we cannot allow Trump Biden to go to the polls with Trump because he has already lost. I remember that after that debate, CNN ran a poll, and Trump scored 66 out of 33. And Biden had 33. So they said, and CNN is a Democrat, channel. So people are asking if this is our channel, and you see how Trump is leading by 66%. What will happen in November? So the people demanded that they have a different candidate from Biden, and despite the fact that Biden is the current president, and because they believe that they should make a decision of people who vies in their party, that's why Biden had to succumb to the pressure to step down and allow a candidate that is more popular in the Democratic Party to win election, to go to the polls with Trump. And because Trump's camp had prepared to dismantle Biden. When Biden stepped down and now Kamala Harris was brought on board, they had to go back to the drawing board because now they are dealing with a candidate that they are not well conversant with. The underbelly of Biden is not like the underbelly of Kamala Harris. Now these are now two different personalities that are now coming to battle to the White House. Now, I think this is what is going to be an election that is very interesting. Right now, I believe they are neck to neck in terms of opinion polls. But I believe when they will go to for the second debate, that is going to be the second for Trump and the first for Kamala Harris, I believe that is going after that debate will shape the race going forward. I believe right now people are ruling out Trump because of Kamala Harris. Others are saying, oh, Kamala Harris cannot beat Trump. Others are saying Trump is going to beat Kamala Harris. But I believe that after that debate, the race to White House will be shaped by that debate. And America is not like this guy, the global South, where you manufacture results. You remember Trump was lost election as an incumbent, and he left office, and Biden came in as the president. You remember also Barack Obama was supporting Hillary, a Democrat, and they lost election, even having won popular vote, but because they lost electoral college votes, they had to let Trump take over. So that is how institutions in the US are very strong, that you cannot try to manipulate, even if you are the incumbent president. Therefore, I believe this is going to be a very interesting presidential election in the US. And whoever who is going to win it is going to win it so narrowly, just like it happened in 2016 between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And once that result is out, I believe history is going to be made again in the US election.
Okay, thank you. I think we'll plan for another session where we'll have a discussion on the politics of America. And on that day, we will invite W. Banker, and we will also invite the guys that, yeah, even Gibson Corner. We'll also give him a chance, and many more, because I think they have some knowledge, being that they've been in that area, so that they'll share with us how the politics and how Democrats and Republicans, how everything works in America when it comes to their politics. So until next time, we are grateful for those viewers who have maintained. Judith, thank you so much. Benson, thank you so much. Kisumu Newsline, uh, Gypsy Corner, thank you so much. Uh, Wells, everyone who has been watching, we are so much grateful. Thanks for being with us. If you are new, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. Before we end the show, maybe if you have any one of you who has anything to say before we end, your last remarks.
Mine is just to appreciate our viewers and my co-panelist, and I wish you all a blessed night. Until next time, thank you so much.
Yes, Miguda.
I'd like to appreciate our viewers and also to inform them that we are progressing very well. Let us keep it up. Let us always try to share, subscribe, comment, and like. And in the event of progressing, there is much to come. So just be here. Don't get out of this channel. And also to wish everyone good night. And also those people who have awake now, good morning.
Okay, that's nice. At least you've given your comments, knowing very well that people are coming from different regions and they're also in different parts of the world. So that was nice. Uh, to me, I just want to say thank you so much to all everyone who has been with us. Maybe Ben, you should also just come and tell us when you're going to have this the politics of America before we end the show. Kindly, you can just join for 1 minute to tell us when you're going to do it.
Okay, maybe
I think it will require us to have a very good discussion. Okay, are you getting me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
I'm far away from the studio, so I think we'll have a good time to discuss about American politics. There's some things that you've mentioned about the Joe Biden and the Trump and everything, but there are so many so many pointing fingers whereby there are things that we need to discuss about, even about the convention that is coming. How do they elect their president? Remember, the Democrats, they did not go for primary elections. See, Biden was the automatic flag bearer for the Democrats, but eventually she dropped. So, what are the kind of conventions that they are going to have? That is one. And with the nomination of the deputy, the vice president, at least we've seen the Kamala Harris points are going up. Is now beating Trump. There are places that they're tying, and we have also to look at the swing states. There are those swing states that determines who is going to be the president. So it requires good analysis, and which I will give it time. Uh, I'm still also monitoring it and how it will be. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for that. We'll plan for that, and then we'll let our viewers know so that we'll have uh, add add us to WS Banker Gibson Corner. On that day, they'll join so that they also share with us what they know about the politics of America. Yeah, so let me take this opportunity to wish all of you a blessed night and thank you all for coming. We really appreciate. Thanks for supporting us. We are grateful. Until next time, have a blessed night and bye bye.